Hi friends! Welcome to a Miss Mindy Minute. This is a time where you, there in your classroom, and I, as a school counselor, work on what can sometimes be the hardest things, heart things. During our time together, we work on ways to make your heart and your actions and your choices to mirror the heart of Jesus. I have a visitor here with me today. Her name is Bertie the Birdie. Say hi, Bertie. She's excited to be here with you today. And I've invited her to come visit us today because she's going to be teaching us about our brains, right, Bertie? Now, wait a second. What? How can a bird teach us about our brains? Well, let's find out. First of all, talk to me from there in your classroom. Where does Bertie live? Where does she live? Yes, birdies live in trees. Now, do they ever leave the tree? Talk to me. Yes, absolutely. Birdies leave trees, so we can say that Bertie, the birdie, basically lives in two different places, right? Her home is both in the tree and then down on the ground. We could say that her home has an upstairs to her nest and a downstairs to the ground. The downstairs part of her home is where all of the action happens. This is where she does her fast reactions to get worms, to bathe in the bird bath, and to keep her out of danger from cars as she quickly flies away. Her downstairs is where she can be quick and keep her safe. I imagine that Bertie the birdie has feelings, so downstairs is also where she senses her happiness, where she swoops down to grab a worm, or she might feel scared and dart past oncoming cars with windshields. Bertie's downstairs is where all of her quick actions happen and her feelings happen. Now, after all that downstairs action, Bertie needs to go upstairs to her home base to feel safe. Do you feel safe, Bertie? Oh, she does. She does feel safe. So she gets settled in her nest. And this is where she does all of her thinking and where she watches for worms and where she calms down. This is where she does her learning and her problem solving. She makes decisions up here in her nest. When she's in her upstairs nest, she's able to settle in and be calm and be in control of her feelings. Now, check out my brain. Check out my brain right here. Think of our brains as having an upstairs part and a downstairs part. Just like Bertie the birdie, the downstairs part of our brain is where all the action happens and it's really fast. This is where we react, where we feel safe or unsafe. This is where we can focus our attention, where we feel our emotions. This is where we feel angry or sad or scared or hurt. Our downstairs brains control our feelings. And just like Bertie in her upstairs nest, the upstairs part of our brain is where we do all of our important thinking of how we're going to handle things. We solve problems, we make decisions, we do our learning. This is where we play, we're ready to learn, we stay calm, and we're in control of our emotions. The upstairs part of our brain right here is where we control our thoughts. So now that you know about the upstairs and the downstairs parts of our brain, let's do some practice. Are you ready? Here we go. So You're going to tell me from your classroom to me in my studio if this is an upstairs brain kind of thing or if it's a downstairs brain kind of thing. Are you ready? Okay. Shutting down during a math test. This is too hard. I am reacting. I feel upset. I'm gonna shut down and not do anything. Is that a feelings of the downstairs or is that a thinking of the upstairs? Ready? On the count of 3, talk to me. 1, 2, 3. Yes, yes. That is a feeling. I'm gonna shut down because this is too hard. Good, that's a downstairs part of the brain. Okay, here's another one. Running out of the classroom. Is that where all the action happens in the downstairs part of the brain? Or is that where all the safe and cozy feeling happens in the upstairs part of the brain? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Upstairs or downstairs? Downstairs. Running out of the room. That's a reaction. That's a feeling. That's an action from the downstairs brain. Good. Okay. Here's another one. Remembering facts and details. Remembering facts and details. Is that the downstairs part of our brain where we're reacting, or is that the upstairs part of our brain where we're thinking? Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Upstairs is right. Upstairs is where we do all of our thinking. Good job. That's so good. Okay, let's do a few more. Ooh, okay. Taking deep breaths. Is that a downstairs reaction and feeling? Or is that an upstairs in the nest where we calm down? Ready? Talk to me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, thank you. Upstairs is where we feel safe, where we feel calm, where we use our calm down tools. Good job. All right. Oh, this is a good one. Stopping and thinking before doing something. Stopping and thinking before doing something. Is that a reaction in the downstairs brain, or is that a thinking of the upstairs brain? Talk to me on the 1, 2, 3. Yes. Stopping and thinking. Thinking is the upstairs part of our brain. Upstairs. Good job. You did great. Last one. Whoa. Yelling at a friend. Yelling at a friend. Is that the downstairs reaction where you're feeling, or is that the upstairs reaction where you're safe and calm? Talk to me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, definitely yelling at a friend is the downstairs where you're feeling and reacting. So now that we know about the upstairs parts of our brain and the downstairs parts of our brain, just like Bertie's nest, the upstairs where she's cozy and she's comfy, and the downstairs where all the fast action is, we have to learn how to use those stairs to go up and down. You see, the upstairs and the downstairs parts of our brain work together as a team. All that's needed is some practice on how to fly up and how to fly down. If we find that our upstairs part of our brain is overthinking and stressing at something, we fly our thoughts downstairs and use our reactions from the downstairs brain. If we find our downstairs brain is overreacting and having big feelings, we can fly upstairs and use deep breathing and calm down strategies. Through practice, we can use our upstairs and our downstairs parts of our brains to its fullest. So here's the way I like to fly from the upstairs to the downstairs parts of my brain so that they can move back and forth quickly. Let's do it together. I want you to hold up your hand like this and think of your wrist as the brainstem. Your wrist is responsible for basic things like your breathing, like keeping your heart pumping. Then tuck your thumb in so that it sits in the middle. The middle part of your brain is responsible for sensing danger, for telling the rest of your brain and body about where the danger is. And it sounds the alarm and it says, we flip the lid. We're upset, we're crying, we're scared, we can't control our emotions. This reaction is called flight or fight. When this is happening, our downstairs brain is in control and we really need to go to the upstairs. So, to get help when we flip our lid, we need to fly up the stairs to where we can get help with our safeness and our calming. Remember, downstairs is where we experience our big feelings, and we need to run upstairs and hug our big feelings like this, you see? So bend your fingers over like this to represent how our brain is able to help us manage big emotions. With the upstairs brain hugging the downstairs brain, we're able to coach it and exercise the upstairs part so we can calm down. Even though we've flipped our lid, we can take a break with deep breathing, going to a calming corner, and taking a rest so we can reflect and reconnect. This is a beautiful way that God built our brains so that we're able to be in control of our mind. Don't you love that? Like my shirt says, our brains are His masterpiece, using our upstairs and our downstairs to master peace. And God promises to give our brains peace in Romans 8:6. And here's what it says. If our thinking and our outlook of our mind is controlled by the Spirit, the result is life and peace. I'm so glad that God made our brains in the masterful way He did, aren't you? That's all for today's Miss Mindy Minute. Until next time, bye-bye.